This is Christian Gomez coming to you live from the New American, and we have breaking news to report. Roger Stone earlier this morning was arrested by the FBI in his home in Florida. Of course, he has been shortly ago he has been released from the authorities. With us today is Alex Newman to report to us more about this developing story. Alex, so what's your handle on what has been going on today with Roger Stone and his arrest?
Well, thank you, Christian. And, to borrow some words from President Trump, this really, really is starting to smell like a witch hunt. I looked quickly through the indictment papers. There's nothing there about Russia collusion. It seems they've got him about forgetting to tell something to Congress, something totally immaterial to Congress regarding WikiLeaks. And of course, they're all acting like WikiLeaks was acting as a Russian stooge or something, and that the Russians hacked these emails. We've seen no proof of that. In fact, I haven't even seen any credible evidence of that. And so this all, I think, is starting to feel like an orchestrated campaign to take down everybody in or around the Trump administration or involved in the campaign. Probably as a means to terrorize President Trump and to terrorize anybody who might be willing to work with him to defend him against the witch hunt that he's facing. So we had Manafort, right, was busted on some obscure tax charges from years ago, nothing to do with Russia collusion. Then we had Mike Flynn as well, Trump's first national security advisor. Again, nothing to do with Russia collusion, right? A total hoax. I've heard they've even threatened his son to get him to plead guilty to these charges, which again have nothing to do with Russia collusion. Now we have Roger Stone. They're going after Jerome Corsi. It seems to me like they're just trying to take down everybody who has been around Trump to try to make sure that nobody will be willing to associate themselves with him. And, I think this is unprecedented in American history. Obama was completely surrounded by criminals. I mean, he launched his political career in the home of an actual communist terrorist who was working with the mass murdering Cuban dictatorship. And yet we didn't have any special prosecutor taking down all of Obama's associates on unrelated charges. So I think what really needs to be discussed here is, first of all, the content of those emails. Why are we talking about all this Russia nonsense? Let's talk about what was in those emails. Let's talk about what they reveal about John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and their schemings to open the border and their spirit cooking and their occult, weird things that they were involved in. That's what we ought to be talking about. And I think it's time for President Trump and for Congress to rein in Mueller, shut this whole thing down. If they don't have anything related to Russia collusion, it's time for this to end. We interviewed Roger Stone. Actually, I was at his house where he was just arrested last year. And then before that, we were at his office in his studio doing some interviews. And, you can think what you like about Roger Stone. That's not even really the issue here. What the issue is that you have a deep state, a secretive group of establishment type people. We've always called them the insiders, conspiring to take America into a globalist system. And then you had Trump come along and interfere with those plans. And they are outraged. And so what Roger Stone told us is that this deep state is so furious, they will use anything possible to get at Donald Trump. Plan A, he said, was the Mueller witch hunt. Plan B was to try to declare him crazy under the 25th Amendment and have him removed that way. And then Plan C, as Roger Stone told, it was actually just to put a bullet in his head. So I think we're dealing with a very, very serious criminal conspiracy against the American presidency. And, I think Roger Stone has already been released. He said he's going to defend himself vigorously in court. But I think Trump needs to step in here and make clear that this is not acceptable.
Deflect and protect. That seems to be what the media is doing, deflecting the story away from what the content of those emails are from the Democratic Party and in order to protect their friends in the deep state agenda. Now, how far do you think that Mueller will go with this probe? Will he go to Trump and have him arrested? How far do you think Mueller's going to take this?
I think if they think they can get away with it, they will. And they know all of the fake media, right? They know the Communist News Network, aka CNN. They know the New York Slimes and the Washington Compost will all celebrate a great day for democracy if Mueller and his goons could perp walk Donald Trump out of the White House. But that would be a hugely risky move on their part. Even the fake polls show that Donald Trump still has massive support across the country. His supporters are all over the country. His supporters would almost certainly not accept their president being arrested without fighting back. And so I think it would be a huge risk for them. So I think they're probably testing the waters right now to see how far they think they can go. And if they get the impression that they can get away with it and contain the damage, I think they would love to try that. Whether they will, I have no idea. I think it would be a stupid move on their part, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. So,
well, thank you, Alex, for coming on today and giving us this insight. And be sure to continue watching us here on The New American for more coverage. Be sure to check out thenewamerican.com for more articles on this developing story as well. Thank you, Alex.